In the warm-up on the weekend, the San Jose Sharks, their goalie is the ex-Leafs goalie, James Reimer from Manitoba, I believe. And
Yep.
they took to wearing what's called pride-themed shirts. I'll tell you, oh my God, look at that. Look what they did to that poor shark. It looks like a rancid dead shark as opposed to a great white shark. I mean, you got to put those colors out. Now, here's the deal. Reimer decided not to wear the Pride jersey, and you would think it was the darkest day since 9/11. People are losing their minds about this. And I'm thinking, a hockey roster, Sheila, that's what, 20 players, I do believe. So 1 out of 20 didn't wear this. So meaning you've got 95% buy-in. And by the way, when I say buy-in, I wonder how many players didn't want to wear that. But you know what's going to happen if you do. And James Reimer decided not to. A couple months ago, you may recall, Ivan Provorov of the Philadelphia Flyers, he did the same thing and was completely vilified. Before I get your thoughts on this, Sheila, this is what is making me watch less and less sports. It's this wokeness, this, leftist political, ramrodding down our throats what we should believe in. And it used to be, once upon a time, I think myself and so many other people, you went to the movies, you tuned into a sports game to escape all this stuff. You wanted to engage in a form of entertainment, a form of fantasy. But nope, once again, this kind of political message has to be shoved down our throats. And again, this is a community that has long said, all we want is acceptance, all we want is tolerance. Well, isn't acceptance and tolerance a two-way street? If these players, because of their Christian beliefs, don't believe in donning that shirt, then why should you care? But it's not about tolerance and acceptance anymore, Sheila. It's about affirmation. It's about demanding society at large get on an Apple box and say, oh, I so support this. I so love this. Well, frankly, not everybody's on side with that. That doesn't mean they're haters. It just means they're not into affirming your lifestyle.
These people, what does it matter? I just don't understand why this is any part whatsoever of sport. Nobody cares. Quickly when I recognized James Reimer's name, I'm like, Reimer, Manitoba, he's Mennonite. And I started looking. The Mennonite community on the prairies, by and large, because that's where they all are, they're really cranking out some hockey players disproportionately based on the size of their community. They are hammering out some serious hockey players. There's Eric Fair, Dustin Penner, James Reimer, Dave Schultz, by the way, Jonathan Taves, all Mennonites from the prairies.
Wow.
And all Reimer said was, I don't discriminate against anybody.
Yep.
Basically, please don't discriminate against me. These are my Christian beliefs. I hold them dear. I don't discriminate against anybody. I'm not telling anybody how to live their lives. Just please extend the same courtesy to me. But no, it's like that AIDS ribbon thing with Kramer back in the day on Seinfeld. It was like a prophecy, right? Like it was a joke back then that you would be jumped and beaten at an AIDS walk for a thing that you actually support, human rights, being left alone, whatever. If you didn't wear the symbol.
Yeah.
But that's what it is now. We've got hockey players being canceled because they don't wear the symbol of this other group. When, James Reimer is basically just saying, leave me alone. I leave you alone. Let's just all do our thing. This is so inconsequential. But they would have somebody violate their conscience to do it. And if you are a person of conscience, if you're a religious person, to violate your conscience, you're putting your soul in jeopardy. Like that is a terrible, whether or not you believe that to be true for yourself, That's a terrible psychological, moral, and religious terror you're willing to inflict on another person. What? So you can bring them to heel for your own beliefs? These people who say that they care about diversity, they are the exact opposite because they don't believe in diversity. They believe in homogeneity. Everybody has to believe and think the exact same thing, and they get to determine what that thing is.
And what I'm curious about, Sheila, I mean, we're in the month of March. All these Pride celebrations, they revolve around the month of June. I mean, it used to be Pride Day, then it's Pride Week, then it became Pride Month. And, well, heck, if you go down to the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, it is permanently lit up in the rainbow colors. It never goes away. And they call it, oh, no, it's not Pride, it's Mosaic, but it's all the same colors as Pride. They don't even have the, I guess, the common decency to admit what it is they're doing because I understand Scotiabank paid $800 million for 20 years of naming rights. It seems to me you'd want your logo on that rink and the way it's, presented to people across Canada, which is red and white, but no, at the former Air Canada Centre, it's the Pride colors. And, I couldn't help but notice, I mean, if super producer Efren can get that shark logo up again, because I think this is so telling in terms of the coloration. Oh, there you go. Now, you see, Sheila, the Pride, rainbow symbol, it's on the hockey sticks. Very small in terms of the real estate of that logo. But look at the shark. Blue, pink, white. Those are the trans colors, right? So the percent of a percent, and by the way, they've got the trans colors on the hockey stick too, the BIPOC vagina logo. So this is the tail that's wagging the dog now. And I find it kind of odd because you see people in that community, we talked about this last week, I believe, LGB without the T. So in other words, bisexuals, lesbians, and gays saying, you know what, we're not buying into this radical trans agenda. But Sheila, what are your thoughts in why they didn't make the shark rainbow colored, but they decided to make it an embodiment of the trans flag?
You know what? I just don't even know why an NHL organization cares about any of this. And then I don't know if you saw those tweets from the Sharks over the weekend in their official Twitter account. They were basically subtweeting Reimer, trolling their own player on Twitter. Like, just leave well enough alone. Leave this guy to his religious beliefs. It doesn't hurt anybody if he doesn't wear the stupid shirt in the warm-up. And by the way, Sharks, you're dead last. You're dead last in the Pacific Division. Maybe focus on hockey. Maybe don't disgruntle your players, by the way. Do you think that Reimer is going to play his heart out for this team that took to Twitter to publicly embarrass him? Do you think? I'd be begging for a trade right now. I would not want to lace up and play my heart out, put my body on the line for a team that basically did their best to publicly embarrass me and renounce me in the most passive-aggressive, wussy way as they did over the weekend.
Sheila, I'm actually surprised, and I'm only saying this half jokingly, I'm actually surprised that Reimer and the Philadelphia Flyer player haven't been suspended. And for having a contrary opinion, for standing up for their Christian beliefs. I mean, where was the tolerance to these Christians coming from a community that is always screaming about acceptance and tolerance?
There's none. Like I said, there's one viewpoint. All these corporations are going woke. Social media is going woke. Entertainment's going woke. And if you are the round peg, they're going to try to hammer you into that square hole. Luckily, these guys are, at some point, they're millionaires. And so, you know what? You get suspended, you're going to be fine. By the way, I think the NHL Players Union is kind of powerful. I'm not sure these teams actually want to go up against the Players Union because in arbitration, they quite frequently lose.
That's true. But On this particular topic, Sheila, don't be surprised if the union is all in, because as we saw through the COVID pandemic, how many unions sided with management in terms of frog marching, card-carrying union members out the door to be suspended without pay? So when it comes to wokeism, I know it's a different topic, I wouldn't be surprised if the players' union, if Reimer were to be suspended or fined, if they did not go to bat for them, because they'd be worried about the optics too. This is, again, when we talk about this community, it is ultimately the biggest example of the tail wagging the dog, and they're getting away with it. They are getting away with it because people are cowards. They're afraid to take a stance because the woke mob came after them. But if we all took a stance against this, we're in the majority and we would endure. But this is the sign of the times we're living in.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.